Hey everyone, and welcome to our deep dive today.
Yes, welcome.
We're going to be talking about how technology is transforming education in Kenya.
It's a really interesting topic.
Yeah, access to quality education in Kenya can be a challenge.
It can be, yeah.
Due to things like limited resources,
Right.
vast geographical spread.
And even like teacher shortages in some cases.
Exactly. So we're going to look at some creative solutions today.
Looking forward to it.
Yeah, and our guide for this journey is someone named Peter Bushnell.
Oh yeah, Peter's amazing.
He's a champion of digital education in Kenya.
A real pioneer.
We've got excerpts from his book,
Oh, cool.
Empowering Educators. My journey to revolutionize ICT integration in Kenyan schools.
You're getting it right from the source.
Straight from the horse's mouth.
I love it.
So we'll get like a first-hand look at his work.
Awesome.
What I think is interesting about his story is that it's not just about shoving technology into schools just because.
Yeah.
It's about using it strategically
Right.
to address problems.
Absolutely, like using the right tool for the right job.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so
Okay.
let's talk about Peter.
Yeah.
I mean, he wears a lot of hats.
He does. He wears a lot of hats.
He's the county ICT champion, the ICT consultant for the Teachers Service Commission,
Wow.
national chair for ICT Champions Master Trainer.
He's got a lot going on.
He's a busy guy.
Yeah, very passionate about this work, clearly.
Yes. And what's interesting is that his passion started really early.
Really?
Way back in 2002.
Okay.
He was in college,
Uh-huh.
and he was already teaching his peers about computers.
Wow. So like student teaching, basically.
Yeah, it's really neat.
That's cool that it started so early.
It shows how, something small
Yeah.
can turn into a lifelong...
Passion project.
Yeah, exactly.
Wow.
So our source material mentions something called the Digital Literacy Program,
ELP.
or DLP
Yeah.
devices,
Yeah.
arrived in 2016.
It's not that long ago.
Not that long ago. Can you tell us a little bit more about these devices?
Yeah, so these DLP devices are essentially tablets,
Okay.
preloaded with educational content, so like digital libraries.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, right in every student's hands.
Wow.
And so, they arrived, and this is a big game changer.
Okay.
But it also presented a challenge
Makes sense.
because you need teachers
Right?
who know how to use this new technology.
That makes total sense.
Right. So
So what did Peter do?
well, Peter's...
Because I imagine he had some role in that.
Oh, he definitely did.
Okay.
He led the charge in expanding teacher training programs to kind of meet that need
Okay.
and reached an incredible number of educators
Wow.
just in Nakuru County alone.
Okay.
He trained over 754 teachers from both public and private schools.
Wow, that's amazing.
It is
754 teachers.
a lot of teachers.
What did they cover in these training programs?
All sorts of things,
Okay.
but all focused on how to integrate those DLP devices into the classroom. So, lesson planning with digital resources, using educational apps,
Yeah.
troubleshooting technical issues.
So like the whole gamut.
Yeah, a whole range of things.
Wow, that's really interesting. And he was really intentional about getting other organizations involved as well?
He was, yeah.
Like to get some buy-in?
Yes, he was.
Okay, so who did he get?
So he secured support from some big players in the field,
Okay.
like the ICT Authority,
Okay.
the Kenya Institute of Curriculum Development, the Ministry of Education, even the Kenya National Library Services.
Wow, so he got a lot of people on
A
board.
lot of people.
What was the benefit of having all those different groups?
Well, each group brought something unique to the table.
Okay.
So, for example, the ICT Authority helped with the logistics of transporting teachers to training centers
Okay.
and getting those DLP devices up to schools.
Oh, so they did all the kind of background.
Yeah, the practical stuff.
Interesting. Okay, and so then...
And then the Kenya National Library Services.
Yeah.
They provided access to computer labs
Oh, okay.
and online resources for teachers.
Wow. So it sounds like he really wanted to get all these
Yeah.
different groups involved to kind of maximize
Maximize the impact.
the impact of these programs.
So sure.
So then, of course, you have COVID hitting
Oh, yeah.
in 2020.
Big wrench in the system.
And I imagine this
Yeah.
really threw a wrench
100%.
into everything.
Time.
So how did Kenyan schools adapt to this sudden shift to remote learning?
Well, it was a huge test of
Yeah.
their digital readiness.
Right.
But Peter and his team really adapted quickly.
Okay.
They leveraged those DLP devices that were already out there,
Okay.
started using platforms like Microsoft Teams for virtual classes, and even turned to social media
Wow.
to connect with students and kind of keep learning going.
That's so interesting.
Yeah, they got creative.
And speaking of creative solutions, his team was able to reach over 10,000 students with free online classes.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
During a school closure in May 2024,
Wow.
There's actually a documentary about it.
Oh, really?
We'll be sure to include that in the show notes.
Definitely check that out.
Yeah.
So one of the things that stood out to me in the source material was how he goes beyond just the basics.
Yeah,
you know,
like the bare minimum
of tech integration.
Yeah.
He's got all these innovative initiatives, like the
Okay.
online live streaming of lessons program.
Oh yeah, that one's really cool.
Just tell us about that one.
So this program broadcasts live classes
Okay.
to students in other schools.
Okay.
So it's expanding access to quality education beyond their immediate location.
I see.
So think about like a school in a rural area
Okay.
that might not have a specialized physics teacher.
Uh-huh.
Now students there can join a live physics lesson from a school in Nairobi.
Wow. That's a game changer.
Yeah, right?
It's leveling the playing field.
It is.
So what are some other examples of these innovative programs?
Well, you know, teacher absenteeism
yeah.
is a huge issue in Kenya. It is, yeah. And to address this, Peter and his team were using both synchronous and asynchronous modes of curriculum delivery.
What do those words mean?
I was going to say,
Break it down for us.
yeah, so synchronous learning is like attending a live webinar
Okay.
where everyone's participating at the same time.
I see.
Asynchronous is more like an online course
Okay.
that you can explore at your own pace.
So if a teacher is absent, the students can still keep going.
Exactly.
Whether it's live or
Yeah.
through recordings or assignments.
Exactly. No one falls behind.
Clever.
Very clever.
So another challenge that the source mentioned was a lack of physical labs
Right.
in a lot of schools.
Yeah.
Especially for science, that seems like a huge problem.
Yeah, how do you do science without labs?
How do you do hands-on learning?
Right.
How did they get around that?
So this is where virtual labs come in.
Oh, cool.
So he's introduced platforms like PHE8 Academy
Okay.
and Labs Change,
Okay.
which allows students to conduct experiments virtually.
Oh, wow.
So you can learn about DNA replication
Yeah.
through an interactive simulation.
That's amazing.
It's pretty cool, right?
Especially in a country where, you know,
Resources are limited.
resources are limited.
Yeah.
So it opens up a lot of doors.
A lot of new possibilities.
So this next initiative I found really fascinating.
Oh, what's that?
E-portfolios.
Oh, yeah.
So they're getting rid of the paper portfolios.
Yeah.
Why is that such a big deal?
Well, you know, it might seem simple,
Okay.
but think about it.
yeah.
Teachers used to just drown in a sea of paper,
Oh, yeah.
trying to manage hundreds of student portfolios.
I can only imagine.
It was a nightmare.
Yeah.
So e-portfolios make everything digital, which is so much more efficient,
Yeah.
organized.
And it probably saves a lot of trees.
Oh yeah, it's much more sustainable.
Sustainable, exactly.
Yeah.
So are there any other benefits?
To going digital?
Yeah.
Oh, for sure.
Okay.
Students can showcase their work in more dynamic ways. Like they can include multimedia elements.
Oh, cool.
They can create interactive presentations,
Wow.
and they can even share their work with a wider audience online.
It's taking the traditional portfolio and bringing it into the 21st century.
Exactly.
I love it.
Yeah.
So now we have to talk about the elephant in the room,
Oh boy.
which is artificial intelligence
AI.
or AI.
Right.
I feel like it's everywhere these days.
It is.
But when we're thinking about education, how does it fit in?
Well, AI is rapidly changing our world,
Yeah,
and it's going to have a big impact on the jobs of the future.
definitely.
Peter recognizes this,
Uh-huh.
and he's already taking steps to prepare students
Oh, wow.
for this AI-driven future.
So what's he doing?
So he's implemented a program called Experience AI,
Okay.
and it teaches students about the responsible use of AI
Interesting.
and the importance of recognizing bias in algorithms.
So they're not just learning about, like, the tools they're learning, about the ethics.
Exactly, yeah, the deeper understanding.
Which is so important.
It is
Yeah.
to be informed citizens in this AI-powered world.
This has been so fascinating,
It has.
learning about all this work that Peter's doing.
Yeah,
But we've covered a lot of ground.
we have.
So join us in part 2, where we'll dive deeper into how these innovations are impacting teachers and students on the ground.
Can't wait.
To our deep dive into digital education in Kenya.
So last time,
We were talking about all the cool stuff Peter's doing.
yeah, like virtual labs and e-portfolio.
Yes, and that AI program he's got going.
It's amazing how he's using technology to really make a difference.
It really is.
So now I want to zoom in a little bit.
Okay.
And see how these innovations are actually playing out, like on the ground.
Yeah, like in the classroom.
In the classrooms, yeah.
With teachers and students.
Exactly.
Okay.
What I think is really remarkable is that Peter's work, it's not just about providing the technology.
Right?
It's about helping teachers.
Yeah, giving them the skills to use it.
You know, like the training and support they need
Exactly.
to really integrate it into their teaching.
It's not enough to just like hand them a laptop.
No. You
Yeah.
can't just throw technology at a problem and
Exactly.
expect it to magically solve everything.
You need to invest in the teachers.
Right. The teachers are the key.
They're the ones who are actually in the classroom,
Exactly.
working with the students.
They're the ones making it happen.
So like with those DLP devices, for example,
Yeah. Those tablets.
did he just like give them out and say good luck?
No.
What did he do?
He made sure that teachers got lots of training
Oh.
on how to use them effectively.
So it's like if you gave someone a fancy new kitchen appliance,
Yeah, like a stand mixer.
but no recipe book.
Right. They wouldn't know what to do with it.
Exactly.
They might be excited at first,
Yeah.
but they wouldn't really know how to use it to its full potential.
And then it would just sit there gathering dust.
Exactly.
So he's giving them the recipes.
Yes, he's giving them the recipes.
I love that analogy.
It works.
And this focus on teachers, it seems like it's across all of his initiatives.
It is, yeah.
So like with the e-portfolios,
Huh.
do you think all the teachers were on board with that right away?
I mean, not everyone was thrilled about it.
Right, because change can be scary.
Yeah, especially if you're used to doing things a certain way.
So how did he deal with that?
Well, he provided a lot of training and support,
Okay.
and he really highlighted the benefits,
Oh,
not just for teachers,
yeah.
but also for students and for the environment.
So he brought them along on the journey.
Yeah, exactly.
And it sounds like that's kind of a hallmark of his leadership style.
It is. He's very collaborative.
Yeah.
He believes in building consensus.
That makes sense, because for these innovations to really work, you need everyone on board.
You do. You need the teachers, the administrators, the parents, even the wider community.
Yeah, it takes a village.
It does.
Okay, so let's shift gears a bit and talk about the students. How has technology changed the way they learn in Kenya?
Well, one of the biggest impacts is access.
Access to what?
Access to quality education,
Okay.
especially for students in remote areas.
Yeah, because they're often the ones who are left behind.
Right. They might not have the same resources as schools in bigger cities.
But now, with things like the online live streaming of lessons,
That program is amazing.
so students can access specialized subjects.
That they might not have been able to before.
So it's breaking down geographical barriers.
Yeah, and creating a more equitable learning environment.
I love that.
It's pretty amazing.
And it's not just about access, it's also about engagement.
Right, making learning more exciting and interactive.
Yeah, like with those virtual labs.
Yeah, imagine being a student who's never had the chance to do a real science experiment,
Yeah,
and now you can explore chemistry or physics.
in a virtual world.
Yeah, it's mind-blowing.
It really is.
It opens up so many possibilities.
Okay, so I do have a question though.
Okay.
What about the challenges?
Yeah, there are definitely challenges.
Like internet access.
Right, internet access is a big one.
And just like the infrastructure.
Yeah, and electricity.
Yeah.
Not all schools have reliable power.
So how do they get around that?
But Peter's been really resourceful.
Okay.
For example, some of the DLP devices are designed to work offline,
Oh, that's smart.
so students can still access content.
Even without internet.
Exactly.
So they're finding workarounds.
Yeah, it takes a lot of planning and creativity.
So it's not a perfect solution, but it's
It's progress.
progress.
And it's making a difference.
Okay, so we can't talk about the future of education without talking about AI again.
Right. It's the elephant in the room.
We talked about the Experience AI program, but why is it so important to introduce AI concepts to students at such a young age?
Well, because AI is going to be a part of their lives,
Yeah,
whether they like it or not.
it's already changing the world.
It is, and it's only going to accelerate.
So we can't wait until they're in college to start talking about it.
No, they need a foundation
Yeah.
from an early age.
And it's not just about teaching them how to code.
No, it's about so much more than that.
What is it about?
It's about critical thinking, digital literacy, ethical awareness.
Okay.
We need them to be informed citizens
Yeah.
in an AI-powered world.
Because AI is a tool.
Yeah.
And like any tool, it can be used for good or bad.
Exactly.
So we need to teach them how to use it responsibly.
Right, and how to think critically about its implications.
And that's what Peter's doing.
Yeah, he's ahead of the curve.
He really is.
And it's not just about AI, it's about his whole approach.
What do you mean?
He's not afraid to try new things.
Yeah.
To experiment, to make mistakes.
And to learn from those mistakes.
Exactly. He's constantly evolving.
Which is what we need in education.
Yeah, because the world is changing so fast.
And we need to keep up.
We do.
So Peter is a great role model for all of us.
He is.
He shows us what's possible.
When we embrace technology.
And when we put students first. Welcome back to our deep dive, everyone. It's been so fascinating learning about all this amazing work
It really has.
that Peter Bushnell is doing in Kenya,
He's really making a difference.
using technology to transform education.
Absolutely.
So now I'm kind of thinking like, okay,
Yeah.
what can we take away from all this?
Right. What are the big lessons?
Because we've covered a lot.
We have virtual labs, e-portfolios, AI education.
It's a lot to process.
It is.
So what are the key takeaways that our listeners can actually use?
Okay, so I think the first one
Okay.
is the importance of having a growth mindset.
Okay, so what do you mean by that?
Well, technology is always changing, right?
It is, yeah.
So we need to be lifelong learners,
Okay,
just like we encourage our students to be,
I like that.
be open to new ideas,
Yeah.
willing to experiment, comfortable with not having all the answers.
Yeah, like it's okay to not know everything
Exactly.
and to learn as you go.
And Peter is a great example of that.
Okay, how?
Well, he started by teaching his peers about computers,
Uh-huh.
and now he's a leader in digital education.
Yeah.
It was a journey.
It wasn't like an overnight thing.
No, he had to keep learning and adapting
Yeah.
and embracing those challenges.
So it's not just about like personal growth though, right?
No, it's about collaboration too.
Okay.
Peter didn't do all of this alone.
That's true.
He built partnerships. He mentored other teachers.
Yeah.
He created a whole network of support.
Because you're stronger together
Exactly.
and you can achieve more.
Think about the impact he's had
Yeah,
by working with the ICT Authority, the Ministry of Education.
that's true.
It's a great example of what can happen.
Yeah, when people work together.
Collective action.
So another takeaway
Yeah.
that I've been thinking about
Okay.
is the importance of focusing on practical solutions.
Oh, yeah.
Like technology for technology's sake
Yeah.
is not enough.
It's got to have a purpose.
No, we need to identify real problems and then think about how technology can help.
Like, is this the right tool for the job?
Exactly. And Peter's work really shows that,
It does.
like with teacher absenteeism or providing access to virtual labs.
He was solving real problems.
Yeah, it wasn't just about
Shiny new gadgets.
yeah, the latest tech.
No, it was about making a difference.
So we need to be intentional
Yes.
about how we use technology in education.
Think about the learners.
Yeah, are we actually helping them?
Are we meeting their needs?
And are we being equitable,
Yes, making sure everyone has access
regardless of their background?
and their circumstances.
And speaking of preparing learners for the future,
AI.
yeah, his approach to AI education.
Yeah, it's so forward thinking.
It really is.
He's getting these kids ready for a world
Yeah.
where AI is everywhere.
And it's not just about teaching them how to use the tools.
No, it's about critical thinking,
Right.
ethical awareness,
Digital literacy.
all those essential skills
It's about being a good citizen.
in a digital world.
So as we wrap up our deep dive today, I want to leave our listeners with a question.
I like questions.
If you could implement one of these innovations
Just one.
that we've talked about in your own community or your own field,
Okay,
which one would you choose
that's a good one.
and why?
Yeah, it makes you think
It did,
about how we can each make a difference.
just like Peter.
Exactly. He's an inspiration.
He is.
But we can all be change makers.
He is.
But we can all be change makers.
In our own way.
Absolutely.
And if you're feeling inspired
Yeah.
to learn more about his work,
Okay.
we'll be sure to include links to his social media in the show notes.
Perfect.
So check those out.
Okay.
Thank you so much for joining us on this incredible journey
It's been a pleasure.
into the world of digital education in Kenya.
So inspiring.
We hope you've learned something new
And that you're feeling motivated.
to make a difference.
Yes. Go out and change the world.
Until next time, keep diving deep.